care about the other people on the road around them, and you know, that's really a problem, and I don't know how to solve that problem for our community. I think.
Now at 10:30, deadly driving dangers on Bakersfield roads. Our city has become well known for its dangerous streets and reckless drivers. In this special Eyewitness News investigation, reporter Leslie Molina takes a closer look at some of the factors behind these grave statistics.
We're always hearing how Bakersfield has bad roads, bad drivers, and a staggering number of DUIs. You've seen the lists, the studies, and we're always reporting on the latest crash. But why are we so bad at road safety? That is what we wanted to find out. According to a recent survey by Quote Wizard, Bakersfield has some of the worst drivers in the United States, ranking us number 7 for bad drivers and number 2 for DUIs, beating out cities like Los Angeles that ranked 10 on the list. The problem is so bad, local law firm Chain Clark released their own study in 2022 on the most dangerous intersections in the city.
The easy answer is, well, you know, we live in a community where there are people who are economically struggling, okay? And so if you look at an impoverished community or a community that maybe has socioeconomic demographics like ours, you're going to see a higher propensity of DUI.
The law firm has worked in several high-profile cases representing the families of the people who lost their lives in crashes around Kern County, especially families of DUI victims.
And I've really thought about this over the last decade. I think a lot of it has to do with when people get behind the wheel of a car in Bakersfield, too often they just don't care about anyone else on the road, right? There's a lack of empathy for others on the road and a lack of respect, right? And so they feel as though they can drive with impunity. They can drive intoxicated or drive at speeds way above the posted speed limit.
Their study looked at 10 locations. Ming Avenue and New Stein Road earned the #1 spot with 40 crashes at that intersection in the last decade. Another organization, Smart Growth America, says the number of pedestrian deaths have skyrocketed since 2020.
Shockingly, if you look at the numbers of DUI arrests, of DUI accidents, of DUI fatalities in our community, and even if you adjust that for the population increase, the numbers are flat. We're not getting any better. Data
from the Bakersfield Police Department shows that so far this year, 1,200 hit and runs have been reported. Around 180 crashes involving pedestrians have happened, and a little over 800 DUI arrests have been made.
Bakersfield's growing, right? More people, more cars, more drivers. Everyone wants a car. Everyone wants to be able to drive. So it would not surprise me that we have more collisions.
Bakersfield Police Department says the pandemic could be contributing to the rise in numbers.
Some of that is officers weren't making proactive stops and weren't out there because of COVID and things like that. We weren't citing people or pulling them over for speeding, and that has an effect.
Behind the numbers are real people, families torn apart by tragedy, like members of an East Bakersfield community next to Foothill High School. Davina McKay's daughter, Ashley Cruz, was crossing the street back in 2016 when she was hit by a driver going south on 184. Then she was hit a second time while she lay on the ground. She survived, but still deals with PTSD from the crash.
My daughter goes through a lot of pain, and she calls me all the time. And I told her that you guys are going to be out here today if she wanted to tell me something to tell you guys. And she said, no, Mom, because it's too traumatic for her. And she's going through a lot still. She's in a lot of pain. She don't even live in Bakersfield no more. She don't want to be here. She said she'll never come back.
There are organizations like the Blue Zone Project working to reduce the number of families like the McKays.
We go out into some of the streets that need a little bit more attention, and we do walkability assessments. So we look at different things like, is there lighting? Is there wide enough sidewalks? Can we cross the intersection safely? So we look to see if it's actually safe for us to be on those roads, and we can add some recommendations to the city and present it.
They took us to Niles and Monterey Street, an intersection in East Bakersfield. This intersection is not on Chain Clark's list, but Blue Zone thinks it is in need of some safety upgrades, like changing the high speed limit and wide road.
There are different measures that we can do, different traffic calming measures. So one example can be just narrowing the lanes, right? So if you have very wide lanes, you tend to go a lot faster, but narrowing those down can actually make you go a lot slower.
Change starts at home. It is important to avoid getting behind the wheel while drunk at all costs. It is also important to keep an eye out for impaired drivers and make sure to report them while keeping a safe distance. Reporting in Bakersfield, Leslie Molina, Eyewitness News.